Good evening, viewers, those who are watching us from within Uganda and those in the diaspora. We are glad you have made NTV your #1 station. But we're also happy that NTV People's Parliament is your favorite program. It's the only program that gives Ugandans an opportunity to speak about issues that affect their everyday life or policies from government that are supposed to be implemented. I am your speaker, Agnes Nandutu. It's once yet another Saturday, and we are in Kyegegwa district here to discuss a very important topic that does not only affect Kyegegwa but the entire country. That is violence against women and girls. In whichever district you are, watch out, there's a lot of violence against our women and our girl child. And that is what we are speaking tonight in Kyegegwa district. Honorable members, you are welcome to NTV People's Parliament. I am told that violence against women and girls is on the rise in this district. And that is something that we want to debate it and find ways of ending it. Thank you, I'm your speaker, Agnes Nandutu. But before we begin this debate, I would like to invite our partners, Oxfam, to give us a preamble, the picture of how it has affected this district. Oxfam, thank you.
My name is Jane Ochaya Irama, and I'm the Women's Rights Advisor at Oxfam in Uganda. So we are gathered here today to discuss a very important issue, and that is violence against women and girls. And it is important that collectively in our different capacities as civil society participants, leaders, as the local government leaders, as the media, as other key stakeholders, the teachers, the local councillors, the refugees, we find ways to address the issue of violence against women and girls. Now, I was in Chaka in November 2018, and at that time there was a film crew here that was recording the experiences of women who have experienced conflict from the DRC. Now, this film crew was recording this because Dr. Denis Mukwege was about to receive the Nobel Peace Prize for his work on repairing the bodies of women who have experienced violence. So there's a lot of international attention on the issues of violence against women, particularly for refugees from the DRC. And that is the context in which this film crew was here. However, when they left, myself and my colleague and I had a discussion with these women, and there were about 80 women refugees. And what they said was that the experiences of violence that they have gone through are so personal that they cannot speak about them.
Within Uganda here at the camp?
No, within the DRC.
Okay.
Within the DRC, they said they had experienced very, very extreme forms of violence. And we need to help these women. However, some of these women have also continued to experience violence in Uganda, in the settlements.
Within the settlements?
Within the settlements.
By officials or by fellow refugees?
By fellow refugees, by the community. They continue to experience violence. And the forms of violence that they said they experience are physical assault, emotional and psychological abuse, denial of resources, rape, and forced marriage. So these are the forms of violence that they continue to experience and which we must find some way of ending. So we need to find justice for these women, and we need to ensure that this violence comes to an end. Violence against women is a very serious issue. It is physical, so we have battery. It's sexual, there's rape and defilement. It's psychological, and we have all the emotional trauma that goes with that. And it's also economic, the denial of property rights, even withholding school fees for girls to prevent them from going to school. That is also another form of violence.
We want to hear from the district leadership, whether they were aware about this, because these are refugees within Chaka, Kyegegwa district. She has mentioned they have suffered violence within their own country in Congo, but also in Uganda. The same has happened to them, that they're even unable to stand up and speak about it and break the silence. District leadership, are you aware about this violence against women refugees in Uganda? Please, you have the platform.
Madam Speaker, as a district, we are aware, and we are trying to put up some mitigative measures to see.
You are trying?
We are trying.
What have you done before you begin trying?
We are trying to, as our district, we have the probation officer in charge of handling such cases, and he's helping it out, and we are solving the problem. On top of that, even the refugee management also, UNHCR is trying to have such problems.
Have some people been comprehended?
Those who are involved are comprehended. I can even invite the probation officer.
The probation officer is here?
Yes, to give us the statistics.
I think he has the statistics.
Yes, please.
But as the district leader, you should do something.
As district, actually, we are trying to do sensitization. We are trying to see how best we can coexist, because even UNHCR is trying to see how best we can coexist. There are some programs that work both in settlement and outside the settlement. So when they bring up those programs here, some sensitization is done, some teaching, even benefits are shared, because as a host community, we get 30% of every program that is offered in the settlement.
Okay.
If it is water, we get 30%. If it is everything that is offered that side, as a district, we get 30%. Why? Because we want to have that kind of coexistence, so that the refugees are properly handled. The nationals can know they also benefit from that side. They shouldn't look at the refugees as if they are a problem to our resources. So the schools are built, roads are done, hospitals are done.
Okay, Speaker, let me hear from the probation officer.
What have we done as a district, if I would begin from there?
But how bad is it before we go to the...
This, Madam Speaker, I just took 3 months from police reports. From Feb up to yesterday, they already had 45 cases of rape.
In 2 months?
Defilement. Just January, Feb. And a small portion of March. The cases are already 45. But the beauty with this, these people who have defiled, who have raped.
And you know, these 45 cases of rape are just those ones that are reported, rather.
Just my office alone, from July up to January, just we have been able to get 85 children, boys and girls, saved from the issues of violence against women and children. And boys, I was shocked yesterday when I was doing my routine to discover that a boy was also defiled by an old woman. When we are thinking about violence against women and children and the girls, somehow we added the boys because they are also becoming victims. They are
and men
survivors.
Also.
They are men. Of course, it's not easy for a man to report, but they're also suffering. Because for men, how do you start saying it? That this woman, this wife beat me up, so it's very difficult. And the 49 girls, boys rather, and the 36 girls have been attended to. And 36 women. Of course, these cases is the women who are reporting. And when they are reporting, it's the girl who is suffering, and alongside the boy. So that's the situation. The situation is bad.
It's bad. Thank you.
Bad.
Thank you.
Me, what I think that mostly brings gender-based violence to girls and women is poverty. Most of the time, our men like going to bars early in the morning and they don't want to dig. Because I have a scenario in the morning, I was going to church and I found a man at my home place there in the village strangling a woman because he had refused to give him 40,000 which he had kept to buy seeds because she had already prepared her land. And on top of that also drunkenness. So men of ours here, at times they prefer to get their wives' money, take it for drinks rather than for development.
Shame upon them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, you
thanks
have
so
the
much, Madam Speaker. The issue of gender-based violence, as my colleague, probation officer, has mentioned, it is cross-cutting, both in the camp and in the host districts. And incidentally, some of those causes are caused by women themselves, I would say. I'm called Kaseja Kalia District Community Development Officer.
They are caused by women. How?
Women. For example, now there are quite a number of forms, different forms of domestic violence. And one of them is sexual. When the woman is tired of the man, some of them, they deny conjugal rights to their husbands. They have started sleeping in jeans. So as a result, the men, they keep quiet and start causing violence on the other. They don't bring food at home. They don't pay school fees. So
what do you expect a woman to do when you're not buying food at home?
Because
do you agree with that, woman?
No. Yes.
But there's nobody challenging him.
Madam,
that means it is true you are denying your husband's conjugal rights. And it ends up in violence.
Madam Speaker, men
yes, ma'am. Is it true that you are denying your husband's conjugal rights and they end up beating you up?
No, the Right Honorable Speaker. In most cases in our homes, we get so many problems that cause domestic violence. One, as they say, there is poverty, but I don't take it as a reason. In our homes, when the day breaks, most of the husbands go for boozing. They go for drinking. They don't dig. Most of them, not all of the men, but some, the good portion, they go in the morning, they drink, they come for food at home.
And demanding conjugal rights.
Demanding for something you know, which I cannot.
We also need to look at women's unpaid care work, the work that women do from the beginning of the day until the end of the day, and how this makes them very tired. So we have done studies which show that women spend up to 17 hours per day doing unpaid care work from 5 a.m. in the morning until late at night. They start off with they do the cooking, the cleaning, they go to the garden.
So by the time it comes
by night time, many women are extremely exhausted,
and they're not ready.
And they're not able to fulfill the conjugal rights, and this perhaps leads to violence.
Thank you, thank you. You see, gentlemen, you are accusing women of denying you conjugal rights, but you have heard from the lady that for you to be able to milk that cow at night, please do the necessary during the day. Thank you. Let's go for a short break, and when we come back, we shall hear more from the people of Kyegegwa about violence against women and girls. Yes, welcome back. You are still watching NTV People's Parliament, sitting here in Kyegegwa District, chaired by none other than your Speaker, Agnes Nandutu. We are talking about violence against women and girls. You have heard the people of Kyegegwa say that men here prefer drinking, doing other things, and when they come back, they demand for their conjugal rights. And when the women say, oh, we are tired, they end up beating them. That's very bad violence against women and girls. Yes, let me have a lady and Honorable.
According to me, this one is majorly caused by poverty in most cases. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because in some families where you find resources are scarce, and this family has girls, what the men do, they look at girls as a source of income. A source of income in that they look at acquiring dowry from these children, from the girls, even when the girls are not yet of age. These girls are married off, like from age of 13, 14, and the men acquire money, acquire dowry, excluding the wives. When the men are doing this, women are usually not involved at all, hence denying them of their rights, because it's the woman who gives birth to the child, who brings up the child, who cares for the child.
Honorable Member, when this happens, help the police to help you. Do you report such cases? Even if you're a neighbor and you have seen a small girl being married off, do you report to police?
Yes, we do. We do, Honorable Speaker, Madam. We do report, but these cases are so rampant. They are so much, it's too much in Kyegegwa district here. Our girls are being married off at a very tender age, very young age. Yeah, that's my
I think that should stop. District leaders, please, do everything possible to stop this. We expected the district police commander to be here, but I think he's not yet here. But thank you for your contribution,
I beg to move.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Tom Brighter Moti, my Minister of Foreign Affairs, Toro Kingdom. It's not true that most violence which is caused between the refugee camps, it's a contribution of the local people of Kyegegwa. These are the behaviors some people have come with from DRC. I don't agree with it as a person that a local person from Kyegegwa moves from here, goes there to rape a girl or a woman intentionally, unless otherwise, if it's found. 2, of empowerment, Madam Speaker. Most women are over-empowered. I've observed most couples have divorced, especially the educated couples. They have caused divorce as a daily song than our old parents who are not educated, who are still serving in their marriages. Madam Speaker.
So empowering a woman has become a problem.
Of empowering a woman has become a problem, Madam Speaker. Because all the issues which have been raised in the community, for example, beating, fighting, separation of properties, is because of greedy and being overexposed. Most people who are overexposed have caused most of violences in the families. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
You want to give honorable information, please?
Thank you very much. I'm Wilson and I work with Oxfam. I have point of information to give to the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs in our kingdom. Actually, I come from here. That in my view, it is not true that empowering women causes violence, or actually we should start violating the rights of women because of empowering them. The empowerment we are talking about there, it's about giving opportunities, fair justice. You know, treat a woman like any other person, but we are not saying that when you empower a woman, she should come at home and molest a man. She should come at home and abuse everyone. We are only looking at those areas where the women have been disempowered. For example, in the area of education, how many girls are accessing education? In the area of politics, how many women, not those that are elected, on that one position that is reserved for women, for, they say, the district councillor or the women member of parliament. Okay. How many women do we have there? So when we empower them, for example, if we have a business, she has a business, I have a business, all of us, we are going to contribute towards the development of our home. But we are not empowering this woman to come and molest the home.
Okay,
Otherwise, in my
you.
view, all of us, we should support each other.
Thank you.
We need each
May I
other.
have
Thank
this
you.
lady here?
Before I give out my submission, I would like to inform my honorable member that if you feel women are over-empowered, then men, you should also empower yourselves, such that we march together.
They got empowered long time ago.
They don't know that they are empowered, because
Okay.
they should not be complaining.
Okay.
Madam Speaker, to me, what is causing
Please
domestic
speak to
violence
the
against women and girls basically is the negative attitude in the community towards girls and women. Because the community thinks that us women and girls, we are inferior. Even when we come to planning, when you stand, somebody will say, what are you talking? You're a woman. What are you saying? You're a woman. I'm giving a scenario whereby when you're standing for a position, for example, in politics, people will begin asking, is she married? What do you mean? If I am a woman, I am full without a man. So you find somebody asking, before even giving somebody is asking, is she a woman? Is she married? Where is the husband? What do you mean? I can stand as a woman and lobby for my people and debate for my people without a man. So that attitude in the community, that women, and by the way, even the Bible says this, Madam Speaker, in the Bible they say, when God created a man from clay, he got a rib and created a woman. Madam Speaker, through you, I'm inquiring, clay and a rib, which is stronger? So for us women, we are people who are created and value added. So
thank you.
So Madam Speaker, I would recommend, if we are to stop this gender-based violence, the people in our community should change that attitude towards us. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Women are value added. A home is incomplete without a woman.
I thank Oxfam for organizing this debate. Chaka 2 refugee settlement, as we said, is part of Kyegegwa. And I want to state that it's not the only area where domestic violence is. It is everywhere in Kyegegwa. As the management in Chaka, we first do identification. There are those people who face domestic violence as they come, so we do counseling and rehabilitation for them first. Then we do preventive measures. Preventive measures mean dialogue with the men and women to ensure that they can understand about the dangers of violence against men and women. Then in addition to that, we have safe spaces. We have child-friendly spaces for protection of children against violence, but also we have protection houses for protecting those women who have undergone violence. Yes, the biggest cause of domestic violence is different power levels in terms of economic empowerment, in terms of education, in terms of access to resources, and so on and so forth. Our work as Office of the Prime Minister with our partners, Oxfam and others, is to bridge that gap, to ensure that we create access to education by girls. That's number one. 2, we create livelihood opportunities for both men and women. 3, we bring together these people to dialogue together, because the biggest problem that I've seen with programs, when they bring programs to support only women, men feel left out and they end up being a bit violent. So we've created a way of bringing projects that bring on board men and women to ensure that they can all work together for the empowerment of the families at home. Our work as the settlement is to ensure that we reduce violence to zero, and we are doing all the best to do that.
Thank
you so much.
By the way, there are very many forms of violence against women and girls. Even denying them health services is its own violence against women. Yes. I'm told in Kyegegwa here, even a government hospital is denying women services. I don't have that information, but...
I'm called Stella Kiza and a woman member of parliament for this district. I warmly welcome you.
Thank you.
And thank you for the endeavor of uplifting our women emancipation.
Thank you.
To me, gender violence, I see it as a cycle. It is not one spot. I have analyzed it and have observed it, of course I've lived in society. One major thing that we have failed to adhere to is family values. Where the family values have broken up and you find the parents are not doing the parental work, the girl child elopes. People are saying they get married, that is different. It is not common that a parent will marry off officially a 13-year-old child. But the practice is that the girls, out of broken down family values, where the parents have failed to bring up the child with discipline, that the girl elopes with a young boy, and it becomes child marriage. Where child marriage, a 17-year-old boy marries a 14-year-old girl, and the society and the family where she has gone, they think she is a woman, when actually she's a baby. And the boy who has married does not know the responsibility he has entered. So the short love they had reduces immediately, the responsibility takes place. And the love drops, and the negligence comes, the regrets come, and they become violent to each other. 2, the immature mind and body of those 2 people. They cannot work to get out of poverty because they are still young. They cannot make good decisions for themselves. And the parents have left them because they think they are old people because they have married. So in that cycle, the poverty intensifies and the violence raises up.
Okay, thank you. 2 minutes.
Yes, I'm giving the interventions. 1, that the law that exists must be invoked seriously and implemented to curb the early marriages, to curb the school dropouts, to curb the indisciplined parents. 2, the children must be kept to school until they gain skills to reduce unemployment. And finally, the women should reduce the dependency syndrome over men, because some people think that once you are married, a man must cater for everything. Failure to do that, you blame and accuse. Those are my contributions. If they are put into place, the gender violence will reduce. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
The issue of gender-based violence is not only in all other spheres that we've talked about, and the ball goes back to parents. Because to me there is a case I've been following like last week of an old man in his 50s going out with a girl of like 15 to 16 years there. The man is too old. He's a border man in town. But when I tried to inquire, the friends and the rest, because he used to like come, drop the girl somewhere, then comes in the evening to pick. And the girl is now pregnant even. I was told that that old man even went to the girl's parents, and he even offered there something to the parents. So when I found out that even the parents legalized, I was really traumatized. The girl is too young, and people say, who know the man, that he even has 2 other women, old women at home. The girl used to come at the friend's place, tell the friend the way she was being treated. No, she was not treated well. She wasn't getting services because the man is old, first of all, and at the same time taking care of the other 2 families, which is a big problem. And for that case, I will concur with the probation officer that the case of gender-based violence in Kyegegwa are really very high, and they need immediate attention.
We should work as a district to end violence against women. 1 minute, ma'am. Just 1 minute, please.
I have 2 issues on GBV, on gender-based violence. One is on some men have moved from the behavior of physical violence against women, and they have opted to go to emotional violence, where you find that men are no longer beating women and doing all those kinds of habits, but they have decided to violate these ladies silently, leaving the home to the woman, taking care of the children. The women are the ones paying school fees. They are the ones digging. They are the ones looking after the children when they are sick. They reach to the extent of even trying to put some shelters at home for themselves. Yet men have abandoned their families and they come in the evening, instead trying to take away the harvests the women have made. So
they construct different houses and they stay there?
No. The houses are constructed by women. Even men go into them.
And Honorable wants to give you information.
You have been married for 10 years or 5 years. A man wakes up in the morning and tells you, I'm leaving this home. Maybe he has been suffering locally, Madam Speaker.
Silently.
I have observed many men were suffering locally. I'm not inclusive. Pardon me.
Madam Speaker.
But Madam Speaker, if you compare with some marriages
Madam
here.
Speaker, I want to...
Let him finish, please.
If you compare with some families, Madam Speaker, some issues are caused by women. They cohabit. Hence causes a man to decide to run away silently, to keep the dignity of being a man in the family, and to live in the house, since you are already a woman and empowered at your level. Thank you so much, Madam
Speaker. I want him to quote me right. I said some men and not all.
Not all.
I mean some men and who are deep in the village. And I never meant that they leave the house completely and go. They
abandon the responsibilities to the women.
Yes, they abandon the responsibility. They wake up in the morning, they go on the pool tables, they go to booze, and come back late in the evening without any care and support given to their families.
Violence against women and girls. Actually, if you leave all the responsibility to the woman, school fees, she comes back from digging, she has harvested her maize or beans, and you take it for selling. If she says, no, this is for school fees, you begin beating them. That is very unfortunate. You have heard the voices of the people of Kyegegwa district about violence against women and girls. Let's go for a short break, and when we come back, we want to find solutions. What can we do as a district? What can we do as leaders? What can we do as partners like Oxfam to ensure that we end violence against women and girls? NTV People's Parliament comes back shortly. Yes, welcome back. We are glad you are still tuned to NTV and watching NTV People's Parliament, sitting here in Kyegegwa district in Toro Kingdom, discussing violence against women and girls. You have heard the people of Kyegegwa, both men and women have spoken. We now want to find solutions. What can we do as district leaders? What can we do as communities? What can we do as partners together to end violence against women and girls? I've seen the LC5 chairman. What can we do?
Madam Speaker, although I have come a bit late, I'm sure the Honorable August House might have given us a number of causes and the effects of gender-based violence, but I stand here to propose some ways how we can combat gender-based violence in Kyegegwa district. Madam Speaker, I'm sure people who have been affected, either men or women, are already psychologically sick. We need to have health care for the assaults, like counseling, guidance, and probably medical care where it is necessary. We need also, Madam Speaker, to form groups that can help to educate our communities the bad impact of gender-based violence how we can live better in our homes as families, wives and husbands, children. Those groups should be put in place. We need also, Madam Speaker, to work with the perpetrators aimed at changing behaviors, both men and women. Madam Speaker, we need to have a media information and awareness campaign. For example, this forum here today is also a campaign against gender-based violence in the district and as well as in our communities. But we can extend it furthermore and take it to radios, take it to maybe all types of medias.
Okay.
Madam Speaker, we also need to courts of law. Legal, we need to go legal. For those who have committed offenses as far as gender-based violence is concerned, should be prosecuted and punished according to the law. Those are some of the solutions I'm coming up with, Madam Speaker.
Thank you,
Chairman.
Chairman.
Thank you very much.
My view to end gender-based violence is that voices against violence as a tool for young people should be strengthened in schools and communities. This can be done through forming clubs in schools like UKU, GEM, and youth clubs in communities. These clubs can create a clear picture on the causes, effects, and prevention on violence and show where to easily get support in case of any assault.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very important.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My role to end gender-based violence, parents should sensitize their girls about our marriages. Here I recommend all stakeholders to come on board and do the sensitization if we are to save our future Uganda.
Thank you.
Secondly, there should be career guidance to both boys and girls in schools. This will make them admire important people in their communities, which will make them work hard for the future, hence end gender-based violence in Uganda and the world at large.
Thank you.
My name is Charlie Tofias. I work with Office of Prime Minister, Department of Refugees in Chakatu, and I'm Assistant Settlement Commandant. I'm here to talk about few of the ways that we can use or employ to end gender-based violence or violence against women and girl children. The structures can be strengthened, the district structures, the settlement structures, from LOC1, actually from families. If you do reporting of the cases, then something can be done. Report those cases, make follow-ups. The structure should communicate and sensitize the community about what is supposed to be done and about the implications of the perpetrators. And my very last one is that we can empower our people. If you say, I don't do this, and then you don't give me this, if I am able to supply to the family, to make a family stand even when the man is not there, it doesn't mean that I'm underlooking the man, but I'm there to support you. And if you're supporting me and I support you, then we can do something for our children. If a child comes and reports, someone has been telling me this, it doesn't mean that he has raped me, but maybe wants me to do something that I don't understand. A father and a mother coming up together can report, then the structures can do something.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, Probation Officer.
Madam Speaker, once again, I'm Nyakabo Augustine. I raise up to address a legal issue. When my colleague from, the Honorable from the Media House said, I looked at it, I followed it. I said, I think you are also about to commit a crime. Because when it comes to defilement, that's a capital offense, that's criminal in all its forms. So I just want to say, one way of stopping of violence against women and children is identifying these cases, reporting them to where they're supposed to be reported. There is a probation officer at the district in charge of children. I'm a custodian of children's rights. Then when you go to the sub-county, we have the CDOs. Report to them. Report to police. Anything to do with child abuse, especially defilement, is criminal capital. Don't get involved in negotiating. Report immediately. I just want to emphasize that. Report immediately. I also want to look at, we need to have parenting forums. Madam Speaker, I have argued and I'm arguing right now. The issue is not children. The issue is parents of today. Parents of today have degenerated into nothingness. So we need to come up and strengthen the family. We need to have forums, parenting forums. There are people who become parents when they are also, they become parents when they are children themselves. Where did they learn to take care of the home? How did they learn it? So we need now to emphasize parenting forums. Either we also bring it into curriculum and we start teaching it.
I have one solution that will address the problem of fear to report these cases, especially against violence against children. We can use the Sauti line 116, which is free toll, and it's under Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. And you can get your phone and report when nobody has seen you, and this will solve that problem of fear to reporting because of threats and intimidation from communities. I would also commend or request all of us to understand that when we get spouses or partners, let's not look at them as competitors, but we are partners. So let's not compete, let's not look at abusing each other, but let's look at moving forward together, in this sense, in a social way, not in a political way.
So to be very brief, solutions to end the cyclical nature of poverty, inequality, and violence against women. One, we must really empower women's rights organizations so that they're able to take on these issues and address them in various ways. Two, it's important that we put in place the necessary policy provisions and the laws. The chairman alluded to this and he said the laws are very important. I'd just like to emphasize this, that the laws can act as a deterrent, but we still need more laws. So Parliament needs to work further on this and ensure that we have the Sexual Offences Bill enacted, we have the Marriage Bill enacted, we have all the necessary laws in place that will support a conducive environment to address the issue of violence against women and girls. Finally, it's important that we address social norms because the social norms determine our attitudes. So you can have the laws in place, but if you have a law in place and someone goes to the police, for instance, and the police says, go and settle your matter out of, with your partner if you report an issue of battery, that is an attitudinal issue. So we need to change the attitude so that people realize that these issues are issues which have implications on the lives of women and girls, and we must make sure that the necessary measures are put in place to address them. So addressing social norms is very important. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, honorable members. Because of time constraints, we cannot continue. But thank you for being part of NTV People's Parliament, debating and finding solutions to end violence against women and girls in Kyegegwa and also the country at large. Those who have been watching us, thank you for being part of NTV People's Parliament sitting here in Kyegegwa. I am your speaker, Agnes Nandutu, and I aspire to inspire you before I expire. With powers conferred upon me as the Speaker of People's Parliament, I end this Parliament until next Saturday.
Views expressed on this show do not represent those of NTV or its staff.